unofficial Universal Orlando podcast is a member of the Mice Chat Podcast Network. MicePod.com. Now, discover the universe, one theme park at a time.
Greetings, Universal fans. It's time for the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, discovering more about the Universal Orlando Resort as well as Universal Studios Hollywood, Japan, and Singapore.
Hello and welcome to episode 92. Of course, I'm Hunter, and this is the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. In association with MiceChat.com and sponsored by Fairy Godmother Travel and Florida Ticks. Of course, joining me today are Darren.
Greetings, Internet.
I have Lee.
Hello.
And Tracy.
Hello, everyone.
Darren set a precedent off there that it's like, right, I need to think, but I can't think, just whatever. Hello.
I was going to say welcome, foolish mortals, but then I realized.
You'd have been cast off the podcast at that point.
Pretty much, yeah. So, I've got great news for you guys. This episode is all about Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Of course, done in celebration for the new Diagon Alley opening.
Oh, yes.
But before we get into that, it's time for the news update.
Hey everyone, Lee here with a news update. So Universal's Orlando's Mardi Gras continues this weekend and as it enters its final few weeks. And if you happen to be there on Saturday night, you'll get to check out Cher Lloyd performing in Universal Studios Florida. Following that, if you haven't already checked it out, Universal Orlando have just launched an official blog. And Universal, this is what they've put out there. They've said that the blog will be a new place for you to stay up to date with all the amazing things happening across their destination, and will feature exciting news about their newest attractions, interviews with the creative minds at Universal Orlando, vacation tips from insiders, that's holidays for you UK listeners, and exclusive, never-before-seen content. So if you want to go and check all that stuff out, as there's a great article on there by Mike Aiello, actually, you can check it out at blog.universal.com to learn more. And finally, Universal Orlando sent out their media invites was it last week or this week? Whatever it was, for the press event for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley. And it will take place from the 17th to the 20th of June. Now, as everyone's clamouring for it, there's still been no official opening date, but the speculation is that it will be either the 20th or the 21st. Now, the 21st is actually the first day of summer, and they did say opening summer 2014. So maybe if you happen to be there then there's maybe a good chance you'll get in there, but we will see. Now, a little bit of a hint. If you happen to be there, go past those walls, and if you just sidle up and whisper, "Hello, Amara," you might get in a little bit earlier. Not guaranteeing anything, just try it. So there you go. In the meantime, keep your eyes glued to our Facebook page and Twitter, and we'll keep you updated as much as we can. And before we head off for a little break, we just want to wish Gabe Thomas a very happy 8th birthday. He celebrates it on this Saturday, the 24th of May, so we want to have a great day, Gabe, from all of us here at the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Happy birthday! So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll continue on with our Forbidden Journey. Diagon Alley is opening at Universal Studios Florida this summer, and we know all you witches and wizards can't wait to visit. So let our friends at Fairy Godmother Travel deal with the muggles and resort reservations. They are Universal Parks and Resort specialists as well as an authorised Disney vacation planner, and their service is free to you. From the new Cabana Bay Hotel to those other hotels run by a mouse, Fairy Godmother Travel can book all your Orlando area vacation needs. And make sure to let them know you heard about them because of UUOP. Because every UUOP referral helps us continue to bring you the best Universal coverage. Contact them today by phone at 832-284-4002 or toll free at 888-939-642-539. Or alternatively, go to fairygodmothertravel.com. Let Fairy Godmother Travel make your next vacation magical.
Hey all you UK UUOP listeners, if you're heading out to Universal Orlando this year, then you're going to need tickets, right? Then what better place to get them than Florida Tix? They deal in all Universal Orlando tickets, as well as tickets for all the other Central Florida attractions. And the best thing is they're open 7 days a week, have no credit card fees, and send out real tickets, not vouchers. Contact them today at 0800-980-5552 or visit their website at floridatix.co.uk. That's FLORIDATIX.co.uk. And let them know you heard about them on the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
Welcome back and on with the show. We will begin the show by taking a virtual tour of the Queue of Forbidden Journey with us as your host. This walkthrough was kindly provided by the guys over at parkpedia.cc.
Yes.
It was indeed. So, we're going to begin in the dungeon.
Sounds kinky.
You've been this too with me
school,
before,
by the
Hunter.
way.
So we're rolling 2 into 1. I got it.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the queue for Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey begins with passing through Hogwarts gates. On either side of the entrance are stone pillars with hog statues on top of them. The pillars read Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and with the use of fibre optics, every few seconds the very same sign lights up to read Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey in a calligraphy script.
Which is awesome.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
To the right of the gates you have a set of test seats, and on the arm of the seats are red, yellow and green lights, and when a guest uses these test seats, one of the lights will illuminate. A green light means the guest will be able to board the standard vehicle seat. A yellow light means the guest will need to board a modified seat in order to ride. And a red light sadly means the guest will not be able to ride.
I did not know this.
I don't even remember
You
seeing
do
the
now.
seats, to be honest.
Yes, they're just there. Beyond the gates are 2 lines. The line to the right, which will typically be very full of people, is the line for the lockers. And the ride vehicles can... Yes. Ride vehicles can only hold a few very small items.
And they're a nightmare.
Yes. So for guests with larger items, my mind's boggling. I'm imagining people with big boxes and In
case you still have your dungeon paraphernalia.
Yes. It will be necessary to queue here. Those without the need for a locker, they queue to the left. Both lines feed into a foyer area where the lockers are to the right and the dungeon area of the queue is to the left. The dungeon part of the queue begins with a large dimly lit room. This is where single riders separate from the standby line and proceed up a staircase to the left. Standby guests continue to the opposite side of the room to a hallway.
So the single rider line's the same as a castle tour line then by the sounds of it if you go up the stairs.
No, the single rider line is actually you make a left, you go up 2 flights. You just go up a single flight of stairs, and then you are put out directly into the Gryffindor common room.
Okay.
So the common room is actually right above where you guys walk in.
Right.
Initially.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. The hallway begins with a turn to the left from the large room area. After several feet, there are noteworthy items on either side of the queue. On the guest's left side is the Mirror of Erised, and on the right side is the One-Eyed Witch. Continuing a bit further down the queue, on the guest's left side is a door that reads Potions Classroom. Near this door, guests can hear a female professor lecturing her class. She can be heard specifically calling out Neville Longbottom's name. The hallway then turns to the right without any other noteworthy items for the remainder of the dungeon. After several feet, the queue again turns left and guests are back outside.
The second part of the queue is the lamest part of the queue, and it's the greenhouse. And this is also, coincidentally, where you spend the majority of your time waiting. Maybe that's what really tinges my view of it.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
It is an awful part of the queue.
Yeah, because it's literally a greenhouse. And in Florida, not a great thing.
No.
The greenhouse is the only area of the entire queue where there are extensive switchbacks. Although the greenhouse is outside, it's covered, of course, and there are fans. And when you get to one of those spots, it's so wonderful.
Yeah.
After a variable number of switchbacks, guests ascend a series of inclined, zigzagging ramps. Although there's little to take note of in the greenhouse, guests can appreciate the aging of the greenhouse, as well as brief views of the castle and an enclosed display of stationary mandrakes. At this point, the typical queue is over, and the castle tour queue begins. Mysterious engraving in the Hogwarts greenhouse. For some time, guests to Hogwarts have been confused by a certain aspect of this part of the queue. The ramp section of the queue has brick pavers as the walking surface. Every few feet, there's a brick that is engraved with the inscription ECSCLMS. No one in the Potter or the theme park fan communities has been able to identify what these acronyms mean.
I think I've cracked the code.
Go.
Eat chicken, salty crackers, like my status.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I knew there's a reason why we have Hunter on the show.
Too fast.
You should work for the CIA, Hunter.
That should actually be the name. We're going to toss out the name of the producers club. That's going to be the code name.
It's the Elemis. It rolls off the tongue.
So following the greenhouse, the next part of the queue we come to is the Oxford Corridor. This is quite interesting because I didn't know they all had names.
Yeah.
So guests re-enter the castle into a corridor, and immediately to the right is a large statue of the Hogwarts architect, which apparently doesn't have a name. Just a bit further is the House Point hourglass display, and according to the hourglasses, Gryffindor is winning in points, followed by Slytherin, then Hufflepuff, and finally Ravenclaw.
Boo.
Beyond this is a statue of the first headmaster of Hogwarts, a game which doesn't seem to have a name. I'm sure J.K. Rowling knows it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At the end of this corridor is the familiar-looking golden griffin statue that is the entrance to Dumbledore's office. Instead of using this entrance, guests round about to the left. After meandering almost to the other side, there is another short hallway. Just before entering this hallway, there is a large tapestry of a unicorn in a field.
Yeah, I've always wanted to try it. You always want to, just jump over that queue line and just start trying to walk up the steps. Yeah,
sherbet lemons.
See what happens.
Yeah. Quick note here. I always assumed those two statues were of Godric and Salazar.
No.
Because they look very similar to how they look in their portraits.
I know the first one's the architect because he's carrying, if you look, I think he's got his hands out and there's like a model of Hogwarts in one hand and a scroll or something in the other hand, I think.
Well, going back to the book mythology, doesn't it say that the school itself was built by the initial four headmasters?
It does, yes, and that's something I've always wondered about, that they've got the Hogwarts architect. But yeah, it did say it was the four, Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff that they...
They might have just funded it. Somebody's got to design it.
They kickstarted it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do they have Kickstarters in the Wizarding world?
I'm sure they do. All right, so... With that note aside, following that, we enter the Tracery Hall. Tracy, you have a special hallway. The hallway leads into the Portrait Hall. All these are very nicely named. Here there are two paintings. The first is several paintings that are animated and interact with each other. The first painting guests see is of Professor Swoopstick.
Sorry, Hunter.
If any of you guys do online dating, someone needs to be Professor Swoopstick. Or even a fan of the show. Somebody claimed that title, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Describing how aspects of Quidditch work. The second painting is a box of spectators watching a game of Quidditch. The professor walks over to the second painting and continues speaking to guests.
Which professor was it again, Hunter?
Swoopstick.
Here we go.
Next up is the portrait gallery.
Rowena, have you heard? Hagrid's lost a dragon again.
Yes. Well, I'm sure he'll find it, Helga. He always does. Let's just hope it doesn't burn down the owlery like last time.
Sounds like yet another clear violation of the Warlocks Convention of 1709. But then again, with all these muggles running about, perhaps a dragon's just what we need.
What a dreadful thing to say, Salazar.
A few muggles might be just what Slytherin team needs, judging from their most recent efforts. Exactly when was the last time your house won the Quidditch Cup, Salazar?
I will not dignify that with an answer, Godric.
Oh, listen to all of us squabbling. Our guests must think us as the most ungracious of hosts.
Good, then maybe they'll leave.
If Dumbledore think it right and proper that they be here, then they are more than welcome. Besides, perhaps one of our younger guests will take an owl one morning and find themselves summoned to Hogwarts.
Yes, just think, the next great witch or wizard could be walking through this room right now, unaware of their hidden talents, just like Harry Potter.
Potter? The boy who lived? The boy who survived by the seat of his pants is more like it.
Ah, but you're wrong, Salazar. It was love that saved young Harry, not luck. Something to remember.
Guests continue into the portrait gallery, which is a fairly large and very tall room filled with paintings. Of these paintings, 4 are animated like the previous room, 1 on each wall. Each of the 4 paintings is one of the founders of Hogwarts, when facing the same direction as when entering the room. Rowena Ravenclaw is to the left, Salazar Slytherin is directly ahead, Helga Hufflepuff is to the right, and Godric Gryffindor is directly behind. In the castle tour, there's a separate portrait gallery where the token portraits are only on 2 of the 4 walls. Now, Rowena Ravenclaw is to the middle right, Salazar Slytherin is to the far right, Helga Hufflepuff is to the middle left,
Hello.
Godric Gryffindor is to the far left.
You must be quite proud of having Harry Potter in your house, Godric.
Yes, remarkable young man, Helga.
Potter, Potter, Potter. The excreants wouldn't even make a substitute on the Slytherin team.
You're mad, Salazar. Just watch. I'll wager young Mr. Potter and Gryffindor beat Slytherin today.
Ha! Gryffindor doesn't stand a chance, Rowena.
Shh! Honestly, all of you, we have guests.
What are all these muggles doing at Hogwarts anyway? I expect this is Dumbledore's doing.
Dumbledore, unlike you, Salazar, sees the good in all people, whether or not they possess magic. Besides, I think I detect a future Quidditch player or 2 amongst our younger visitors.
They look like a pretty nasty lot to me.
Perfect for Slytherin, then.
Next, we enter Dumbledore's office.
Now, where did I put that book? Ah, guests! How delightful! Welcome, welcome! I am Professor Albus Dumbledore. Yes, Albus, not Albus. Headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Our school was founded over 1,000 years ago by the 4 greatest witches and wizards of the age. As many of you may know, Hogwarts is one of the schools where young people in the wizarding world come to study magic. I should warn you, things can get a bit unpredictable here. During your visit, you may encounter all manner of things not common to your own world. Ghosts, house elves, giants, and apparently, as of this morning, a dragon. But I sense a bit of apprehension in the room. Perhaps you fear meeting you-know-who. Well, a piece of advice, if I may. Fear of a name only increases the fear of the thing itself. Voldemort is only as powerful as we make him. And remember, inevitably, there comes a moment when we must make a choice between what is right and what is easy. The choice we make defines us. When in doubt, follow your heart. It will, in my experience, rarely lead you wrong. Now, if you will please proceed into the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. Unfortunately, we are currently without a Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. They tend not to last too long, I'm afraid. Therefore, Professor Binns, our esteemed History of Magic professor, will present his thorough and exhaustive lecture entitled Hogwarts Through the Centuries. I am almost certain you will find it long. Enjoy the remainder of your stay with us. Oh, and should you catch sight of that dragon, please take note of its location and report it to a member of the staff. Thank you.
At this point, guests walk down a short hallway into Dumbledore's office. Guests walk past several cabinets filled with wizard knickknacks such as telescopes, books, and a pensieve. Guests only walk through about half of the office. The other half shows more recognizable objects like Dumbledore's desk. On the other half is where we see Dumbledore, not at his desk, but high above on a balcony. Here he welcomes us to Hogwarts, warns us, and informs us that we will be listening to a lecture given by Professor Binns.
Also like to say there's a cool effect with the sliding book that comes down the shelf off one.
I saw it for the first time recently.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that was great.
Where has that book gone? Ah, more guests. Welcome, welcome. I am Professor Albus Dumbledore, Headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Now, as you probably know, this is one of the schools where young people come to study the magical arts. For centuries, Hogwarts has educated scores of young men and women, many of whom have gone on to distinguish themselves as fine witches and wizards. A few, it's true, have strayed to the dark side. Once a young boy named Tom Riddle stood precisely where you stand now. Of course, these days, he's best known by another name, Lord Voldemort. The name alone strikes fear in good witches and wizards everywhere, and his hatred of muggles is widely known. But do not fear, you're well protected here. I've personally cast a few enchantments and spells specifically intended to ensure your safety. But should you ever find yourself in danger, I'll tell you what I tell all young boys and girls who pass through Hogwarts. There comes a time when all of us must make a choice between what is right and what is easy. Here's hoping you choose correctly. Now then, You're about to enter the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. As we are currently without a Defense Against the Dark Arts professor, the position has proven perilous, I'm afraid. Professor Binns, our long-standing and long-deceased history of magic professor, will, with your enjoyment, condense hundreds of years of Hogwarts history into a few short hours. Enjoy your stay with us. Oh, and should you happen upon a dragon whilst here, please alert a member of the staff. And run! Not necessarily in that order. Thank you. So following Dumbledore's office, he tells us to proceed into the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom.
I think the three of us under this invisibility cloak is the thickest idea you've ever had, Hermione.
We've got to help all of these visitors get out of Bin's lecture, and if McGonagall sees us, she'll give us the boot. Have you got a better idea?
Keep your voices down. Everything's going to be fine. Let's make this quick.
Excuse me. We reckon we should warn you. If you stay much longer, you'll find yourself listening to Professor Binns go on about the history of Hogwarts.
Which, it should be pointed out, is rather fascinating. One book I'd highly recommend, which is an absolutely riveting read, is Bathilda Bagshot's Hogwarts.
Perhaps another time, Hermione. The point is, Professor Binns is very, very boring, which is understandable as he's...
dead.
Yeah.
What Ron means to say is he's a ghost.
Yeah, well, dead, aren't they? Ghosts? Sort of a requirement. They're muggles, Hermione, not morons.
I never said they were morons. My own parents happen to be muggles, if you recall, Ron.
Anyway, we
Still
thought you
morons.
might prefer to come with us and see a game of Quidditch.
But to get you there, we have to sneak you out to the castle, which is where Hermione comes in.
All you have to do is meet me in the room of requirement. From there, we'll fly you down to the Quidditch pitch. Of course, we'll need a bit of magic, a spell I learned from a world-class Quidditch player.
Hermione knows all these spells, you see.
Ron, you're making it snow again.
Why does that always happen?
Hermione, if you would...
Meteorologings Recanto.
She's balking, but she's brilliant.
Someone's coming. Remember, the room of requirement.
See, Ron? Everything worked out perfectly.
Perfectly, except I'm stuck under this cloak with you.
Keep your voices down and McGonagall will hear us.
Ron, you're despicable.
In this room, there is the familiar-looking dragon skeleton hanging high above guests' heads. At the front of the classroom is a chalkboard with spells and such written. Just beyond the chalkboard is a staircase up to the door that, according to the films, leads into the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher's office. The door opens, seemingly by itself, and guests hear bickering. After a few seconds, Harry, Ron and Hermione come out from under an invisibility cloak and tell guests to skip Professor Binns' lecture, as he is a dead boring ghost, and watch a Quidditch match instead. In the middle of the trio speaking to guests, Ron casts one of two charms, which can either make the weather stormy or make it snow in the classroom. Hermione corrects Ron, and the three don the cloak once again and head back through the door.
I still can't believe we let Hermione talk us into using the invisibility cloak with all three of us.
How else are we going to get to these visitors before they get stuck in Bin's lecture? If Filch sees us, we'll be on the next train home. What's your suggestion?
Keep it down, you two. This will work fine if you stop bickering.
Excuse me. We thought some of you might be looking for a way to escape Professor Binns' lecture. If you're not, you're mental.
Not that the subject isn't fascinating. Personally, I'd recommend Bathilda Bagshot's Hogwarts, a history.
No one has read that book, Hermione.
For your information, it happens to be, by general consensus, the definitive volume on Hogwarts.
It also happens to be dead boring.
As is Professor Binns. Very boring.
And exceptionally dead. He's a ghost, fell asleep in front of a classroom, fine, woke up the next day to teach and left his body behind.
He's still very sound on history, though.
And as an added bonus, he can enter the classroom through the blackboard.
Anyway, we thought you might rather watch a game of Quidditch than listen to Binns, but we have to sneak you out of the castle and down to the pitch. We reckon the best way of doing this is to fly you there.
All you have to do is follow me to the room of requirement, and I'll manage it from there. Of course, we'll need a bit of magic, a charm I learned from a world-class Quidditch player.
Hermione's famous for her charms.
Meteorologings Recanto.
I was just about to do that.
Remember, meet Hermione in the room of requirement.
See? That wasn't so bad, was it, Ron?
Not as bad as being under this cloak with you.
Keep your voices down. Filch will hear us.
I'm not making any noise.
Please.
Q, Part 8. the Gryffindor Common Room.
Who are you people? Am I supposed to let you all in? And without a password, no less. What is this school coming to? Well, move along then, otherwise you'll miss the match. I wish I were coming with you, though I certainly don't miss those awful benches. So uncomfortable. Oh, but you've got a treat today. Harry Potter's going to show you how the game of Quidditch was meant to be played. Up, Gryffindor!
Guests walk down a short hallway and see the fat lady, signifying the entrance to the Gryffindor Common Room. Yet off of her hinges, indicating that a password to enter is not required of the Muggle visitors. She speaks to guests as they walk past her, showing her support for the Gryffindor's Quidditch team. Besides her is a Daily Prophet newspaper, which shows an animated Harry Potter playing Quidditch.
Don't worry, there's room for all at the match. If I weren't so busy, I'd ask some of you to carry my picture down to the stands. My house never stopped talking about Potter's Quidditch skills. I'd really rather see for myself. Come now, move along, don't dilly-dally. Up, Gryffindor!
The Gryffindor Common Room has many of the items expected in a common room, including a fireplace, some chairs, and a winding staircase up to the bedrooms. High above guests' heads are the 3 moving portraits.
I will now continue my review of the unique characteristics of enchanted benches.
And I will remind you that etiquette is every bit as important once in the air as it is on the ground.
And I'll tell you what it feels like to go blasting through a cloud on one of these benches.
The information I will be imparting is very important, young man, and I'll thank you not to interrupt.
Who do you think they're going to listen to? You two, or someone who's actually taken these benches on test flights and lived to tell the tale?
A fine young Hogwarts student by the name of Hermione Granger has been gracious enough to cast a flying charm on the enchanted benches. While they are quite safe, each bench possesses a mind of its own and can shoot up into the sky without notice, or stop on a sickle at any moment. Therefore, it is not recommended for those with neck or back problems, persons subject to motion sickness, or anyone who is pregnant.
Once aboard, please use the seat back pouch to store items which might fall, scratch, or poke someone. Jewellery, earrings, cell phones, change, glasses, hats, and wands.
Flying on one of these benches is like grabbing a Chinese fireball by its tail. I once flew one from the South Pole to the North Pole, and my shoes didn't arrive until the next day.
Oh, preposterous nonsense.
Oh, is it, Granddad? Remind me to show you my frostbitten socks sometime, and watch this.
So there you have it. The enchanted benches are really very safe. However, the exit is just ahead if you need to use it.
On the left, there is a female etiquette coach teaching Muggles the proper way to fly the enchanted benches.
Hello!
Yoo-hoo! In the middle, an older gentleman that seems to be a veteran of using the benches.
All right.
And on the right is a smug young man that tells guests how thrilling it is to ride a bench.
Whatever, dude.
I will continue to acquaint you with the unique and magical specifications of enchanted benches.
And I will also show you how to fly like ladies and gentlemen.
And after all that rubbish, I'll show you what these benches can really do.
I'll ask you to refrain from interrupting me, young man.
You're not even dressed properly.
Listen, dear, I scored the winning goal in the 1862 League Championship wearing nothing but a smile. The other side jinxed off all of our robes.
Hermione Granger, one of our more exceptional students, has cast a flying charm on the benches which gives them the power of flight. However, the enchanted bench has a mind of its own and can fly an infinite and unpredictable number of angles. Therefore, it's not recommended for those with neck or back problems, persons subject to motion sickness, or anyone who is pregnant.
Once aboard, please use the seat back cubbyhole to store items which might fall, scratch, or poke someone. Jewellery, earrings, cell phones, change, glasses, hats, and magic wands.
An enchanted bench flies like a dragon with a firework tied to its tail. In fact, the last time I raced one, it caught fire.
That's hardly likely to happen to them. They're beginners.
When boarding, it's always polite to ask ladies in your party where they'd like to sit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's alright, I did the same.
I remember the day I took a party of ladies for a spin over the Himalayas. If I knew where they landed, I would have brought them back, too.
So there you have it. Everything you need to know about enchanted benches. The exit is just ahead should you need to use it.
Queue Part 9. Preloading area. Guests only wanting to partake in the castle tour exit the queue here. At this point, the line splits 3 ways. In the far left lane, single riders queue. In the middle lane, guests need a modified seating queue. There's another test seat at this point in the queue, so any larger guests who either need to be retested or those who bypass the initial test seat may be sorted. The far right lane is for standby guests. All 3 lanes continue down a corridor towards a Hogwarts sorting hat, who gives a safety spiel before loading onto the ride. The queue turns left briefly and a Hogwarts student, a team member, instructs riders when to board.
Your journey is about to start, but safely you must go, and so the Hogwarts sorting hat tells you all you need to know. These benches are not safe for you if you are still too small. You must be more than goblin-sized, 48 inches tall. Now rid yourself of objects that might poke or scratch or fall. Take jewelry, cell phones, all loose change, and stow them, one and all. To keep your treasures safe and sound, smart lockers are supplied. Gringotts made and wizard-proof for all you need to hide. And now a warning, do not ride if flying makes you queasy. If pregnant or out sore in back or neck, then leave, it's easy. You've traveled far, you're very near, the waiting's been long. But smoking, drinking, or eating while in line are very wrong. Now thank you all for listening, my safety lesson's done. We hope you live to tell the tale, and most of all, have fun.
And then we move on to the loading area, the Room of Requirement. The Room of Requirement is a fairly large room with floating candles high above guests' head. The guide vehicles are clearly seen at this point as they continuously glide to the right. The system resembles the Omnimover system as the vehicles never stop and there is a moving loading belt to board. However, the vehicles are not connected to one another. The vehicles' bases move at the same rate even during the ride, but may detour to enter the maintenance area, and ride vehicles for handicapped guests can sift into the flow of vehicles. The vehicles are facing riders in the station with the robot arm hidden behind the vehicle. Guests walk to the left and around a half wall to reach the loading belt. Guests stow any small belongings into the compartment behind the seats, which I've never seen.
No, me either.
Yeah.
Yep, they're there.
Cool. If wearing loose shoes, may sit on them. Just sit on it. Guests can then pull down the over-the-shoulder restraint and wait to be checked. Although the belt is long, boarding must happen very quickly. For handicapped guests, there's a separate loading bay behind and parallel to the standard one that is unseen by most guests. This loading bay is not continuous, and when vehicles dispatch from here, they shuffle into the flow of other vehicles.
We will now delve into the attraction and, my ultimate, the reason why you came here, my fact hunter.
Over here. All right, say observatory on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Observatory.
Observatory. Gosh, I was missing.
Darren ended up in Nocturne Alley.
Thank each and every one of my sources that I was able to use, which not only include the basic websites like Wikipedia and things like that, but some more specific places like Parkpedia, Orlando Informer, Orlando United, some of Jim Hill's material, in various websites like that, but especially those in particular. Thanks a lot. So Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey is the signature ride, of course, of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and Islands of Adventure. So the ride takes guests through scenes and environments in and around Hogwarts Castle from the Harry Potter series of books and films. The ride is scheduled to have a duplicate, actually 2 duplicates, one that is going to be opening this summer in Osaka at Universal Studios Japan, and Universal Studios Hollywood will be getting theirs pretty soon. I believe the estimate's about 2017. Some general statistics. There's 47 vehicles, 4 riders per vehicle, and the duration is 5 minutes. You must be 48 inches tall to ride. The manufacturer is Dynamic Structures, and the provider of the technology is the Kuka Corporation. As well, this is an attraction that does not have Universal Express, however, it does have a single rider line. Now, believe it or not, Forbidden Journey's kind of origin story actually goes way, way back to park opening, and it actually ties very, very closely to Jurassic Park. And what I mean by that is, after the opening of Islands of Adventure, there was still a large vacant plot of land nearby that was going to be used for another Jurassic Park attraction later on called the Helicopters. Now, in the second year of operation, Islands of Adventure did add the Flying Unicorn family coaster, but once again, there was still quite a bit of space. But Helicopters never opened, obviously, and the concept was scrapped later on. So years later, Universal decided to kind of get back to their roots, and they really wanted to add a classic Universal monster attraction to their parks, and they thought Islands of Adventure would be a good fit for this, especially due to the revitalization of Van Helsing and things like that. They were going to be using the Kuka arm technology, so Van Helsing and Jurassic Park really paved the way to what is now the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So in January of 2007, we started hearing rumors about the possibility of a Harry Potter-themed island at Universal's Islands of Adventure. This was followed by further rumors that part of the project was codenamed Strong Arm, which of course is in reference to the Kuka robotic arm technology that it was going to use. A couple months later, on May 31st of 2007, Universal, of course in partnership with Warner Brothers, officially announced that the Wizarding World of Harry Potter would be coming to Islands of Adventure. Preparation started to take place just a couple months later in October, and the construction of the actual Forbidden Journey attraction in Hogwarts began in February of 2008. Construction finally finished in the first half of 2010, and Forbidden Journey began operating on June 1st of 2010 and officially opened to the public on June 18th. Now, it's been well documented through various sources, including those I named at the beginning of the Fact Hunter, about exactly how the ride technology works and everything like that. If you're more interested in that, I honestly believe they could do a better job of explaining all of how the screens move in tandem with the Kuka arms and everything, all kind of like all the engineering aspects of it. But I really want to give you what I refer to as Easter eggs and kind of like tidbits and secrets about the attraction that I think, a lot of you diehard fans might know about, but maybe the casual guest doesn't. So I kind of want to get into that, which of course is always my primary focus of the Fact Hunter. So starting off, of course, a major aspect and one of my favorite parts about the entire attraction is that this is actually the first time that we actually get to see the 4 headmasters of Hogwarts in their physical form. The actors were cast, of course, but then they had to be approved by J.K. Rowling. One other quick little tidbit, David Heyman, who was the movie's producer, and Stuart Craig, who was the production designer for the series, can also be found in the exact same corridor. Dynamic Structures, who designed the Forbidden Journey attraction, this was in their first foray into the theme parks. One of their major attractions was they did do the redesign for Disneyland Space Mountain, which opened in 2005, as well they did design the movable platform that's now used in Soarin' over California in Epcot and at California's Adventure. Now, we kind of talked about this when we were doing the theme park part of the walkthrough, but I'm going to address it again because I want to bring some clarification. For some time, guests to Hogwarts have been confused by a certain aspect of the greenhouse part of the queue. Because on some of the bricks, as we addressed previously, there's the inscription ECSC, and there's also LMS. So no one in the Potter or theme park fan community, thus far including ourselves, has been able to identify what the acronym means. Now, Parkpedia actually asked Chick Russell, who is the show producer at NBC Universal, and he was able to shed light on the topic. He said, "Wish I had a magical answer for you, but I don't. The greenhouse paver bricks were not made for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, so the letters ECSC LMS on them don't relate to the project. They were existing real-world building materials, which of course have a place in the Harry Potter world." His guess is that ECSC may stand for European Coal and Steel Community, which is a business group, and LMS could stand for Levine Measurement Systems, which is a testing organization. The ride does not feature other Hogwarts teachers, even in an instance where there's an opportunity, which is at the potions classroom. Severus Snape does not even make an appearance. So McGonagall, Sprout, Flitwick, Snape, Slughorn, none of those guys actually appear in the attraction, only Dumbledore himself. In the attraction, there are 2 very famous instances where characters actually get to interact with the guests, and those are, of course, Dumbledore himself and Harry, Ron, and Hermione, the trio. That technology is called Musion, which a film is then projected onto glass, which is the reason where if you try to take a picture of these characters, unfortunately you're just going to see that glass that the film is being projected on. A similar yet more primitive effect of that is still featured in a very popular theme park attraction, which is personally my favorite. Of course, the effect is Pepper's Ghost, and that's used in the ballroom scene of the Haunted Mansion. During the ride's development, there were several amazing effects that unfortunately had to be cut due to budget restraints, and the first major effect that was axed during the initial phases was that the dragon was actually initially supposed to breathe fire. The guys at Parkscope actually dug through and was able to find out, yes, there was a fire barrier initially set up to be installed in there. So the dragon was actually going to be set back a few feet and breathe fire. Now the effect was dropped because the entire park day, it would have to go off every 7 seconds. And when you thought Jaws, fire expenses could get expensive, you got to factor in that as well. The next effect to be cut, and one that I'm extremely thankful for, personally, the acromantulas. They were actually, particularly Aragog was supposed to kind of jolt towards the vehicle. That was the first incarnation. Then the second one is that his actual body would stay still, but he would swing his legs at you. Into your face. Once again, glad it didn't happen, but I'm hearing that might get integrated into the Hollywood attraction, so we might get it later on down the line. So in the farewell scene, where all the characters are waving, bye, thanks for surviving, Muggles, we're glad you got to come and see us. One of the Gryffindor children on the right is Theory Coop's 15-year-old son. As well, the infamous Whomping Willow attack, the Whomping Willow's arms themselves are actually 2-axis Kuka robotic arms. Very, very cool. Now, one of my favorite effects that is actually still in the attraction, but is not being implemented, is sitting idle currently, and a lot of people don't know about this, is it takes place during the Dementor attack, and there are supposed to be dozens of more Dementors actually taking place. So of course, after you pass through the mouth of Salazar, you end up with 2 Dementors. You've got the one kind of floating menacingly, and then you actually have the one who comes in for the Dementor's kiss. But there's actually about a dozen or so idle Dementors in that scene that are supposed to be lit up by a light on the bench. Now, I'm not sure if these are physical Dementors or if they're just static, like painted onto the walls, but either way, it is an effect that was ultimately cut from the attraction due to Warner Brothers having experienced it and deemed it too terrifying. So I figured as a cute little bonus, or a cool little bonus, cute, whatever you guys prefer, that I'd throw in some Hogsmeade facts real quick, just to kind of tickle your fancy. So real quick, of course, at Spent Witch's Sporting Needs, a lot of people know you can look in and see a golden snitch. But what's really cool about this building is that it was the first one actually constructed for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So it was built off-site, and it was tested for style, look, durability, and its ability to withstand hurricanes. Talk about magic, right? No. Alright. Of course, inside the Three Broomsticks restaurant, on the right side are 3 brooms hanging on a wall. The one at the far left was actually used in the films. All the wands in the Ollivander wand shop, there's 15,000 individual wand boxes, which were placed there by hand. Of course, it looks amazing, but the creators didn't have an easy time setting all that up. The Hogwarts Express train is an exact duplicate of the ones featured in the films. This also goes for the Hogwarts Express attraction, which will be opening up very, very soon as part of the Diagon Alley expansion. One last little sweet tidbit for you. You'll see what I'm saying. For Hogsmeade, for opening day, they designed 34 different kinds of candies, most of which are still available to buy within the parks today in the Honeydew section. And there might even be a few more, so who knows. Anyways, that's been my Fact Hunter for Forbidden Journey. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and we're going to get it on back to the show. One thing I did want to mention real quick, we do have listeners send in audio, which is a binaural recording of the entire attraction, so do stay after the show. Once again, thanks so much, and have a magical day.
It's now time to share you guys' thoughts on the attraction.
Okay, first one is from Craig Lucas. He says, I've ridden it 4 times, in 2010, 2012, and twice in 2013 when he was here for Halloween Horror Nights. And each time waiting in line, building up the anticipation, looking at all the interactive queue, I've got to say I've had tears rolling down my cheeks. When leaving, if any cast member had interacted with me after leaving the ride, I had broken down sobbing. I think Spider-Man and Transformers are both better than Harry Potter and the... What? At TFG?
Oh, it's supposed to be J. Craig can't spell. Craig, that should have been a J, not a G.
The Journey. The Gurney.
Gurney. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Gurney.
But neither of those rides had reduced me to tears.
No, for a 6'7" giant, he's a gentle giant.
Yeah, he's a big softy. Oh.
Craig is 6'7".
Oh, he's a big bloke, yeah.
Does he fit pretty comfortably in the ride vehicle?
That I don't know. I assume so.
Oh. Well, Craig, make a comment. I'm interested to know that.
Yeah. I've got one from Abiram. I moved from Venezuela to Miami on October the 1st, 2009. About 3 weeks later, I was lucky enough to receive an invitation to attend Halloween Horror Nights as a guest of George Jonty, a comic book penciler for Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Ding, ding, ding. It's not like a name drop.
It's pretty cool. As soon as we got there, we were bombarded with a lot of advertisement for the opening of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter the next summer. So the next day I did what everybody should do after moving to Florida, perhaps getting your legal documents in order, ha ha ha. I bought an annual pass with no blackout date so I could be ready for the imminent public opening in 2010. So on June 18th, 2010, I set the alarm for 5 a.m, so with 4 hours driving I could be at the gate by 9 a.m, with my ticket already on hand, so my chances on getting a short wait line for the attraction were decent. The very first thing I do after stopping the alarm every single time I go to the parks is check the forecast. So I did, and with the forecast came other news from Orlando. An important crowd of people coming from different parts of the world were standing in the longest waiting line I've ever seen in a theme park, some of them since midnight.
Oh my God.
With much frustration, I unpacked the plastic bag and additional underwear I always take for my round trip from Miami to Orlando. So instead of going, I followed, amazed, every minute of live coverage of the waiting line and the official streaming of the public opening. I still feel very sorry for the people who travelled for a public opening that wasn't public at all, and it left an important amount of people waiting in line for a whole day under Florida's summer sun and didn't even get the chance to enter the attraction. You'll never think that a company with the experience of Universal actually allowed it to happen. Obviously, I postponed my journey a few months, so I ended up going in October again. Perfect timing for weather, low crowd and Halloween Horror Nights bundle. I've been in the park so many times, perhaps over 20 a year, that I went straight through the loopholes people were talking about online. I followed the most accurate advice ever. Don't make the 2-hour line outside the castle. Instead, enter the attraction through the gift shop, head to the lockers and go for the single riders. Then, after riding the attractions as many times as you want with little to no line, ask the staff for the castle tour line so you can see the castle without making any lines, without anybody rushing you to keep walking. Thank you, whoever you are. I know you're listening to the UUOP.
Can you do that then? Cut out the line at the front of the castle and go in through Filch's Emporium?
Lee, you got to think of how many people are walking out of the lockers at any point in time. You can easily slip right in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not saying that's,
It's not right.
Us Gryffindors wouldn't take such a route, but...
No,
That's
neither does
interesting.
Ravenclaws. He must be Slytherin.
Yeah.
The ride itself is by far the most impressive ride I've ever seen in a theme park. Every single idea, the artistic concept of it, the musical selections, the holograms, the hat, the paints, the revolutionary technology behind it. The only flaw, and perhaps it's quite a big one, is the story. Basically, it's a story about how Harry Potter was doing I don't know what or why, and then it's Hagrid and a dragon and spiders and dementors over the Quidditch field and a dark mark near the Chamber of Secrets that has nothing to do with Hagrid, the dragon, the spiders, or the Quidditch field. Is it me? Or the storyline wasn't much consistent?
No, and that's been something I've addressed since the attraction opening. It's really just Harry's greatest hits in a ride form. Yeah.
But if you went and all those things weren't in it, everyone would go, why weren't the spiders in it? Why weren't the Dementors in it? Why?
I'd be perfectly fine without the Acromantulas, actually.
No, I love that bit.
I think Raymond would be quite fine without
And
them as
Jade.
well. The second flaw was the quality of the projection on the screen. It is a bit blurry and perhaps the green screen is too obvious for me.
Have they switched those projections out?
The, loading back in projections?
All of them. As far as they were switching them to HD ones, is that?
I don't think so.
No.
Doesn't seem like it to me.
Okay.
I found they're very light. Like the it's not as dark and like vivid as it should be.
Right.
No,
It looks kind of
because it
faded
used to
out.
be very, very dark, and now they're kind of very light and kind of washed out.
Okay.
Yeah, and the screens have been dirty a couple of times when I've gone through there too, which that was strange. But like spots on them, so
Right.
yeah. So hopefully that's just in preparation for the new stuff.
You think they'll want it in a pristine condition with Diagon Alley opening?
You'd hope.
Yeah. I know the ride itself has technical malfunctions, and it happened to me twice that I got stuck on the ride, 2 out of perhaps 30 times. On a scale of 1 to 10, this ride will get a 9.8 from me. The 0.2 is just room for more amazement. Thanks, Abraham.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Our next one, or the one I'm going to read anyway, is from Mr. Sean Hill. I remember the first time I rode the Forbidden Journey like it was yesterday. I was in a plane going home to Orlando after being on a family vacation in Las Vegas for a week when I saw someone post on Facebook that the Wizarding World was soft opening. To say my sister and I were excited would be an understatement. By the time we got back to our house, it was around 1 p.m. and we were exhausted, but that didn't stop us. We put our bags down, grabbed the car keys, and left for Iowa. We got there and ran for the Forbidden Journey and loved it. Now, let me be honest, I knew what was going to happen on the ride thanks to online reviews and such. What I didn't know was how close the Dementors actually came to you. I may have turned in my man card that day, but it was worth it.
I like that.
This one's from Matt Clark, and he says, I was stunned when I first went on. Lots of fun, though the Dementors weren't as scary as I thought they were.
They still get me, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, they don't scare me. I just get ready to pull a face when the one that comes in takes your picture.
Yeah. Takes your picture.
Well, it kind of does, doesn't it, for the projection in the mist screen as you go past it.
No, I thought that was the same faces that they take in the Acromantula scene.
No, that's for the ride photo. The Dementor that comes in front of you with like a light glowing out of his mouth. What takes that picture for the mist screen?
Oh, well, I thought they actually used the same photo. Okay, cool. The next one is from Claire Goodwin. I first went in 2010, and I was with my now ex-boyfriend, who knew nothing about Harry Potter whatsoever. You did the right thing, Claire. I remember screaming when faced by the Dementors, pushing back in my seat to get away from them. And when I got off, I was like, oh my gosh, did you see those Dementors? They nearly got us. And my ex just looked at me and said, what were they? It was certainly a head shaking and hands moment. It must have been totally lost on him. Potter forever.
Yeah, I think you did right to dump him if he didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bit much. Okay. Next one comes from Nina Thompson. The first time I went on Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, I was in complete shock. I had never been on such an innovative ride in my entire life. The crazy Armclaw ride system, various screens, and moving creatures were just too much to take in at once, so I rode it over and over and over. Perks of living in Orlando. The ride continues to blow my mind, and I still absolutely love it, even though I always get stuck upside down near the Whomping Willow. I just had my first experience with that the other day.
We got stuck on it with you when we rode it when we were there last time.
Yeah, but did we get stuck at the Whomping Willow?
No, I can't remember because you and apparently
Yeah.
Raymond still talks about that breakdown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got to ride through without audio, so we made up our own. It's pretty great.
Honestly, Darren, he still talks about it now. He really enjoyed that.
I hope it breaks down again for us. I've been coming up with new lines. She says, love you, UUOP. We love you too.
We do.
Yes,
Oh, we
absolutely.
love you.
I've got one from Beth Erickson Wood. I absolutely loved it. The Dementors scared the heck out of my daughter and I. The technology and inventiveness blew us away, just transported us right into Harry's world.
I got one from Chris Rook. Amazingly themed ride in a perfectly themed area. Dare I say the best out of any of the parks, including the mouses. Ha ha ha. I remember our first time we went on it in October 2010. We got there early and rushed to it like everyone else. The wait time was a reasonable 30 minutes, which gave us plenty of time to enjoy the queuing area too. As for the ride itself, it blew us away. However, it scared the pants off my son Jamie, who would have been 7 at the time. If the noise and the spiders set him up, then it was those Dementors that finally did him in. Afterwards, he just kept saying, "Never again." Anyway, you'll be pleased to know he's fine and fine now, and that cough, the 3 years of therapy must have done the trick when we went to it on again in last year, and he loved it.
And then, yeah, I was like, the kids, I think the first picture we've got of them two, of the four of us being on it, Raymond's got his hands over his eyes, Jade's got her hands over her eyes, and me and Chase just sort of looking around.
Like a theme park nerd you guys are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
cool.
this last one comes from Steve Milson Pim, and he says, well, we only managed one ride back in 2012, but what a ride that was, and it so needs at least 4 attempts to fully appreciate everything they have designed and those little snippets they have sneaked in. From the moment you first arrive and see the wait time at 2 hours, then you know you really should have got in earlier and run to it. Second time, fueled by IHOP, meant a 10-minute wait, and to anyone debating if they should ride, get on it. The moment you sit down, it feels like you are the only one enjoying the ride. The whole ride movie has been put together with so much detail, and combined with the movements of the whole enchanted bench certainly takes your breath away. Flying through the air, the spiders, dragons, and the rush of cold air rushing past you makes this a ride I so wish I went on more. Thankfully, YouTube, coupled with our photos, has meant I can relive those memories until the calendar says 2016, when, with luck, we will be standing outside Hogwarts. Thanks for the podcast, guys.
Aww.
Now, we haven't talked about our thoughts of it yet.
Haven't we?
No, not really.
Never.
We probably have.
I feel like our thoughts are well documented at this point.
Probably.
I still think Gringotts is going to go somewhere to beat this. I love Forbidden Journey.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gringotts is going to beat this.
I think it might.
I'm on Team Hunter.
So we all think Gringotts will...
Team Pumpkin Juice.
If that's
no, never mind. I'm not on the team anymore.
If that's true, then that's going to be one hell of a ride, because say Forbidden Journey is just like Hunter. You kind of mentioned it before. I think it was on last week's show when we were talking about the animatronics and stuff. That there is, like, a lot of Disney fans say Universal doesn't do animatronics. All they do is everything screen based. But if you look at Forbidden Journey as a whole, yeah, the screens in it, but how many massive set pieces are there in there?
Yeah.
The whole Chamber of Secrets, the Whomping Willow, the Acromantulas.
Everything is so elaborately themed. I wish there was, the audio animatronics, while they are mainly kind of, a lot of them are static figures, but they have such a, look to them that they are realistic, and that really provides the effect.
It is absolutely stunning. Like, I think I've listened to other podcasts before, and they said the thing is, you couldn't do what they've done with that ride with purely animatronics or sets. You couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like Transformers, it's screen-based, but again, you couldn't do that ride without screens.
No.
Yeah. Now, do I wish there were some audio animatronics in Transformers? Sure, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Well, if I remember what Brent told us when we had him on, they did do one.
Yep. For instance, the final scene where Optimus Prime thanks you. That would be awesome as a giant animatronic.
That was the scene it was supposed to be.
Oh, was it really?
Yes, where he rolls up and transforms from the truck and says, "Well done, freedom fighters." Yeah, that was the scene it was supposed to be, an animatronic.
And see, that could have been awesome.
It would have been amazing.
I think the reason I think Gringotts is going to be better is they're going to take all the elements that they've learned in Forbidden Journey and incorporate that. From what I understand, they're still going to be using the Kukla arms in some way or manner. They're still going to be using full sets. There's still going to be the video projection elements. I think it's just going to combine all those units with my favorite Universal ride, which is the Mummy. And I really think that's going to be an amazing attraction.
Yeah. Yeah. If half of what I've heard about Gringotts is true, it's going to be amazing.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Knowing how good Forbidden Journey is, this is just going to knock it out of the park.
That completely lived up to my expectations, and I had it hyped to hell in my head.
Now, I will say this. Nothing is going to compare for the first time you round that corner in Hogsmeade and you see Hogwarts Castle. Gringotts just isn't going to have that appeal.
Well, I don't know, if you step through the entrance into Diagon Alley and see Gringotts with the dragon on top of it breathing fire, I don't know.
You don't have that magical moment that you do when you're around the corner and you see Hogwarts in all its glory,
I must admit, I did cry when I walked in.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't get a chance to react because I was too busy handing hankies over.
I was crying as soon as we set foot in that park, not just there.
You cried when we played out.
The reaction that a lot of people have upon seeing Cinderella Castle for the first time is what happened to me with Hogwarts, essentially.
Mm.
So thanks, everyone, for joining us at this show. We hope you all enjoyed it, and of course, we all definitely did. So until next week, for Tracy, Darren, and Lee, I'm Hunter, and this has been the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
You showed great bravery. Feel free to return to Hogwarts anytime. Now, tuck your elbows in.
Swoop stick.
That does it for another unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Between shows, we'd love for you to get in touch. So email us with your spews, funny schmitz, comments, questions, and news to podcast@uuopodcast.com. Keep up with what's going on every day by following us on Twitter at UUOPodcast, like our Facebook page at facebook.com/UUOPodcast, follow us on Instagram and Pinterest at UUOPodcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/UUOPodcast, and don't miss a show by subscribing to us on iTunes, and please leave us a review. Not an Apple user? Then head over to uuopodcast.libsyn.com and subscribe to the feed while you're there. You can also find us on Stitcher Radio and at micepod.com. Come find us on our partner site, micechat.com, join the forums, and say hello. So thanks for listening, and remember, be adventurous.
This has been a micepod.com presentation.
Over here! Alright, say observatory. On 3. 1, 2, 3! Come on, Twat! Ron and Harry will meet you outside!
Hermione did it! They're flying! Keep up, Ron! We're on our way! We'll meet you outside! Sorry about that! Those faces can be a bit dodgy! But we haven't lost anyone yet! Not this week, anyway!
Hey, you lot! Haven't seen a dragon, have you?
Right, come on! We'll nip over to the Quidditch pitch! Harry! The dragon! Look out!
free to return to Hogwarts any time. Now, up your elbows in. Oh, and don't forget to retrieve your stowed belongings, lest you want them confiscated by Mr. Filch.